up Mayor Tim Keller to start us off. Mayor Keller.
Okay, well, we want to welcome everyone to this wonderful facility. Folks might remember, I think it was somewhere in the middle of the end of COVID or something when we opened this. And it was wonderful because one of the projects that we wanted to get done even during COVID. So it was part of our sort of New Deal-ish version of investing in our community, doing the best that we can, even though at the time we couldn't even really open the center or take kids. So now it is alive and well, and we're ready to expand. And so this facility, we have wonderful longer-term plans that include athletic fields and a gymnasium, but today we're here to celebrate some special components. The first one being classrooms. Out that way, you can see the rendering here. It's going to look beautiful with the rest of the facility. And so we're going to be adding these classrooms, which are desperately needed in many ways, obviously for our kids, but also for the community. That's the space really people use, other than the workout room, which is always popular. So we're very excited about that. And I want to take a moment just to thank the staff. Everyone from Family and Community works out here. Thank you so much. Do a wonderful job. And I know we also have some parks folks who are going to talk about another amenity that we're trying to put in many ways in all of our city facilities when it's relevant, which is our splash pad. And so this is a way for, no one thinks about this until it's July. And then everyone is like, why don't we have a splash pad? Because it's screaming hot and there's not enough pools or, and there isn't in general, but pools are extremely, extremely expensive. And so splash pads, especially for our younger kids, are a way to enable them to cool off and have a good time. And so they're extremely popular. And so we're putting one out here as well. Now, I do want to mention, too, one other component about these classrooms. As many of you know, my children are part of the Family and Community Services after-school programs and summer programs, not at this facility, but at a different one. But we also have early childhood. And so this is something we provide at this facility when we're going to get the classrooms. And so that early childhood care is extremely important. My kids have aged out, but we're committed to that as a state and also as a city. And as a fun reminder, our city and our team that works on that, we are the single largest provider of early childhood care in the state of New Mexico. That's awesome. And I will tell you, it's actually always been that way, at least since the 70s. But we're committed to continue to expand that. And most importantly, in this area of town, we have another facility that we use for different things that's close by. But this is going to be a wonderful new home for those little kids, little kids, as well as our mid-schoolers and high schoolers. So a couple of other things I would just quickly note, we basically have 22 community centers, and they're free to the public. They offer all sorts of programming. In addition, we have a mix of multi-gen and senior centers. And so this is one thing Albuquerque does well. And really, it's a credit to a lot of the city staff who's been here way before me, but this is something that we're always have been a leader in around the country. And it's also because of the support we've always had from our state legislators and from our city councilors. And we're going to hear from them in just a moment. So we know that these really are, in many ways, the heart and soul of a community. And so this community out here, Westgate, before this was built, right, had a very tiny facility. And we wanted to make sure that they knew that we were going to invest in communities where they were needed the most, not necessarily where they're the most convenient or even where it's the easiest to do it. And so we try and now put community centers and early childhood programming where there's the most demand. And that often corresponds with communities of color, communities that are growing, with our immigrant community. And that's really what this center is all about, is a huge statement saying that we care about everyone in Albuquerque, including Westgate. And so we're very proud of this facility, and we were able to do it with the help of a bunch of legislators and city councilors, and we're going to hear from them. And what we're going to do next, though, is let's hear a little bit from our Director of Family and Community Services, Carol Pierce.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mayor. We are just so proud of this day and just grateful for all the support for this growing community in this part of our Albuquerque. I just want to give another shout out to Brianna and Kristen and Jess and the whole community rec team that just really strives to provide exciting youth programming. And one thing I'd just like to highlight, when this facility opened before, just Brianna and team canvass the neighborhood to find out what kind of services do you want, and you can see that in living color any day you come. We recently had a meeting and we see the seniors having a meal. We were seeing people coming in and out of the exercise facility, people having a meeting. So for the neighbors that are here, just I can see the pride in this wonderful community center. But Brianna, thanks for really including the neighborhood in all that you do. We're also, because of the high demand for summer youth program, we have our former Westgate, it's a little smaller facility, and then our new Westgate. And we're running youth programming out of both of those facilities this summer to really continue to meet the demand. So we're very excited about phase 2 because of the warming kitchen that will help meet neighborhood needs and our child development classrooms. I'd like to do a shout out to Dr. Donita Mosley Blackman, sorry, it's a mouthful. And she is our leader of our child development program, and as the mayor said, we run one of the largest ones in the state, and with her expertise and leadership, this will be a new site that we expand. The senior meals will continue and even more robust with our warming kitchen, and we really appreciate how we collaborate and work with the Office of Senior Affairs on that. With the child development programs that we are adding, I do want to just say this is really important because they're 5-star accredited programs. And for some of you, you might think, well, what does that mean? That just means we may meet the top credentialing standards to make sure when your children come to our programs, we're doing everything we can so they're ready to jump into the next step in kindergarten. So with that, I really want to say thank you, and thank you to Jane's Corporation, and I know Lee Gamelski, the architect, couldn't be here today, but when you drive up to this facility, you just see how beautifully it's done, and we know the second phase will be the same. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Okay, we are joined by some wonderful elected officials. So we're going to hear from our counselor. She's here. And also, I want to invite our legislators, if you want to come up, senators and reps. You don't have to, but you're welcome to come up and hang out. And then what we'll do is we're also, I think for our speaking order, just really quick, let's hear from Josh Herbert about the aquatics, and then I'll hand it over and introduce our elected officials. Josh?
Thank you, Mayor. All right, thank you all. Good afternoon. So Parks and Recreation is excited to be part of this project as well. You know, we had, I can remember growing up in this community, Westgate holds a place in my heart because, you know, I grew up in this area of town, and then I became a lifeguard, and I lifeguarded at one of the portable pools at the old Westgate, and it transitioned into an in-ground pool and a splash pad, and I'm so excited that we get to take part in this this new Westgate Community Center to have a splash pad. So Family Community Services has a ton of programming here, and we're very happy and eager to help supplement their programming with an aquatic feature. It's just an amazing way to cool off in the summertime, and it allows people to flock to this facility. Once you see that water spraying out of the ground and it's a hot, boiling summer, that's a respite for the community, and it's something that is definitely something that is needed and is deserved. So we try to strive to provide equitable access to our community throughout all of Albuquerque area, and Westgate really does deserve an aquatics feature just like this. So again, it's a pleasure to be here. I look forward to this time next year being able to turn on the switch and bring the waterworks. Thank you.
Bring your swimsuit.
Yeah.
Or not. You don't even need one for splash pads. Okay, well, listen, we want to introduce our counselor in this area, and I just want to say that, you know, when I started running for this job, I got together with Councilor Pena, and, you know, we committed to actually finishing a lot of these projects that had been talked about for like decades. And so, you know, first we also decided, like, you know, let's take what we can get. So we got phase 1, and it's right here, and it's awesome. And now we're working on the next phase, which, by the way, also includes a transit turnaround. This was public access, and sort of a park and ride effort here was another component that we wanted to build in. So that's the third piece that is here today. But we're very grateful for Councilor Payne, who had this vision long before I got this job, and continues to fight for her community with zeal and effectiveness. Councilor Pena.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you for being here this afternoon. I just wanted to make sure, I know probably everything was touched upon on all the meeting rooms, the warming kitchen, the Head Start, the spray pad, the transit center. I just want to say how excited I am about this second phase. As the mayor just stated, it's been a very long time. Councilor Sanchez used to represent the area. He actually had bought the property, worked out some arrangement to buy the property from the Archdiocese. So, with his contribution as well, and then when I actually became elected and through the census and part of this area, kind of one of the other projects he handed over to me and gave me the baton and said, we really got to get this done for the community. Been running off of that old Westgate Community Center for so long, serving such a large population that it just wasn't conducive to really meeting the needs of our community. So when this first phase happened, we're just so excited. The staff here is incredible. I just want to say thank you, Brianna. I've been here and I played bingo on the senior lunch days. It's a blast. I didn't win, but I really appreciate all the extra work that you guys put into making this place a wonderful, not just the building, but the services that you're providing. So thank you. And then as anything, I mentioned Ken, mentioned the mayor, he made this commitment. I'm like, we have all these projects. I gave him a list of like 82 and he's like, we can work on 10 of them really hard. But anyway, he's just committed to really helping to get this done. Thanks to the rest of the council, obviously with their vote and their support. And then it takes a village, the state of New Mexico, their legislators, our senators, our representatives putting in their money. They have limited resources as well to dedicate to their districts, and they've made this one of their priorities as well. So I want to thank you all, and I invited you guys so you guys can come up and speak, because I know it's important for you guys to talk to your constituents as well. And that's it, Jess, everybody from family and community, you guys do an outstanding job. Looking forward to the second phase, and me, I'm like a dog on a bone. The third phase, I'll be talking to the mayor in just a minute and saying, okay, when are we going to be working on the third phase? So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Councilor. At this time, I'll invite up Senator Linda Lopez, if you'd like to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation to join this celebration today. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilor Pena, and of course, Councilor Ken Sanchez. We've had many meetings with the neighborhood associations here talking about this for a couple of decades. It's the vision, it's the dream, because of the explosion of population that we've had here, and this place is going to be used. I come in here with my kids on occasion. We come here for neighborhood association meetings, and there's always activity that is happening here. And yes, thank you to the staff. They've always been so complimentary, so very nice and very guiding when we have questions to ask. But a child care center, no, this is going to be working specifically to help our young population that is so very much needed. And when we talk about the issues on education, it starts early. And this is going to be, I think, a prime spot here on the west side of Albuquerque and in our community of where we can have more shining stars coming and moving into our educational system. A splash pad, oh my gosh, I think I might show up here too on opening, and with my little one too, so we can come and have some fun. But I want to just thank you so much for us doing phase 2, and I'll help with phase 3. Let's see what we can do, Mayor, about moving this forward and with my colleagues, because our community will use the facilities. It's not going to sit here unused. Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Representative Eleanor Chavez.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And I want to express my thanks to everybody that runs the center, everybody that helped put this together, and it's making this a reality. I've lived in Westgate since 1985, so I remember what it was like trying to get my kids into, I have 4 kids, trying to get them into the old Westgate Community Center, right? There was a waiting list, and sometimes you didn't get in because there were too many kids, and sometimes you didn't get in because your kids were older and they were teenagers. I am so excited about this Westgate Community Center, and I'm even more excited about phase 2, super excited about the classrooms that are going to be used here for early childhood education. And as Senator Lopez said, early childhood education starts early. and young. And we've got lots of young kids here that are going to be able to take advantage of this. And I'm so proud that we have, this building. I'm so proud that it sits here in Westgate. And again, it's for the benefit of our community, and I know that our community is using it, and we're going to continue to use it. And when I go door knocking and people ask me, well, what about a swimming pool? I can talk about the splash pad and say, go on over, go on down. Thank you all.
And last, we will have Representative Yanira Corral.
Buenas tardes. Thank you for inviting me here. It's just a pleasure to be here as a Westsider. We feel like a big community. We are neighbors, and as a teacher, I remember my students always looking forward to have a place where they could go after school. I remember how much support that I got with homework, with time where they would stay while their parents were working. So this is really a heart for families, and it's important to have it in every neighborhood, in every community. Like Senator said, it's growing. This area is growing, and we need to see these places growing too. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for inviting me to participate. Thank you for the opportunity to collaborate in this project. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our list of speakers. At this time, I'll turn it over for Q&A. Questions? No? Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
You want to do a picture?
Yes, if we could go outside. We're actually going to move outside here. We'd like to get a picture if you all would like to move out there.
yeah, you guys are full timers.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay, I think we're gonna have to dig a little
so
bit.
dig it in a little bit, then we'll kind of count. Ooh, that's some good west side
Yeah.
dirt there. All right, so we'll count to 3 backwards, and then like turn your dirt over. You guys want to help us? 3, 2, 1.